What happens when inside North Korea's mysterious Shenyang F-6 fighter jet? At first glance, you would assume this aircraft is nothing more than an outdated Cold War leftover, a jet that should have been retired decades ago. But that's exactly where the illusion begins and the truth becomes far more unsettling. The F-6 is not just a jet. It's a puzzling blend of Russian engineering, Chinese production, and North Korean adaptation that still plays a secret role in today's geopolitical game. The question is not why North Korea still flies it, but rather what the strategic meaning behind its continued existence actually is. History and legacy. In the Cold War, the F-6 was essentially the Chinese-built version of the legendary MiG-19, designed for high speeds, sharp maneuvers, and deadly dogfights. When North Korea received its first batch of these jets, it was like opening the gates into the future of their military aviation. They weren't just getting a new aircraft. They were getting a symbol of strength, an ideological statement that North Korea could stand up to the West and match power with its rivals. Now, decades later, this fighter jet should be little more than a scrap heap relic, and yet North Korea continues using the F-6, and for reasons far more strategic than most outsiders understand. Training and survival strategy. The key to long-term survival for a small isolationist state is not always cutting-edge innovation. It is often adaptability. And the F-6 is a proof point of that principle. Think about this for a moment. The F-6 was originally designed in the 1950s, yet North Korean pilots are still trained on it not merely as a traditional fighter but as a school into the strategy of air combat. For North Korea, the F-6 serves as a flying classroom, an intense training tool that can prepare pilots for future aircraft without jeopardizing their most valuable jets. This means that despite the aircraft's external appearance being old, the internal role it plays is critical for military readiness. It's like looking at an ancient warrior still wearing rusted armor and yet possessing the wisdom to defeat you in the arena. Upgrades and modifications. Even more curious are the stories emerging from defectors testifying that some F-6 airframes have been silently upgraded with new avionics, radar systems, and weapon mounts. Whether these claims are entirely true or partially exaggerated, they fit a surprising pattern. North Korea never throws things away. They repurpose and reforge until it makes strategic sense. The concept of an outdated aircraft being secretly modified to meet today's conditions is not unheard of. In the Middle East and parts of Africa, older jets like the MiG-21 still fly combat missions because modifications have made them viable. The F-6 fits into this exact logic. It's not about becoming as advanced as an F-35. It's about being just dangerous enough to matter. Combat roles and strategy. In the event of conflict, the F-6 could be deployed for interceptor roles, psychological warfare, and distraction missions. Imagine the chaos in a sky full of jets. Modern fighters would have to divert resources chasing the F-6 fleet, opening opportunities for other North Korean assets. This is the hidden logic behind retaining them. I know what you're thinking. Could these jets really stand against modern weapons? On paper, no. But wars are not always fought on paper. They are fought in confusion, deception, and unpredictable circumstances. And the F-6 fits perfectly into this kind of chaos. Inside the cockpit. The cockpit design of the F-6 is perhaps one of the most revealing features. Stepping inside the aircraft, you are transported back to another time where analog gauges dominate rather than digital displays. The pilots who train on this jet are not pampered with comfort. They are tested in their mental focus, their reaction time, and their ability to master a difficult airframe. And in this hardship, North Korea sees value because a pilot who learns to master the F-6 can switch to a modern fighter with far more ease. It's the ultimate form of military boot camp. If you're listening right now, ask yourself this: what happens when inside an aircraft that was tailored to the Cold War yet still flies over the 21st century battlefield? What does it feel like to hear an engine whose technology is trapped in the last century but whose purpose is to test the future warriors of an isolated nation? That's where the psychological side of this jet becomes fascinating. It is not merely a machine, it's a statement. The statement says, "We will not die. We will not fade away." And this message, delivered through steel, wings, and the howl of an engine, becomes terrifyingly effective for their survival strategy. Global legacy. Historically, the F-6 played crucial roles in conflicts across the Middle East and South Asia. From Egypt to Pakistan, various countries used the F-6 in direct combat operations. In fact, the F-6 was one of the first fighter jets for Pakistan to face real combat missions, and its legacy remains deeply written in the memory of pilots from that region. What is remarkable is that North Korea studied all these experiences, learned from them, and chose an approach that fits their strategic posture. Keep flying the jet, but bend it into the future with new roles. Perception and illusion of power. In modern North Korean military doctrine, the F-6 is only a part of the larger illusion of power. They want the world to see an arsenal, even if half that arsenal is built from machines older than most of their pilots. The point is not reality. The point is perception. Perception is a weapon in itself. And if the world believes the F-6 could be dangerous, that belief alone becomes a source of power. Performance details. The F-6 was capable of supersonic speeds over Mach 1.3, which in the 50s and 60s was an extraordinary achievement. It had a simple but powerful twin-engine configuration, short endurance but extreme sharp maneuvering ability. It was a close-range fighter, and in that hunting role it excelled. Fast forward to today and the jet would be severely outclassed by any modern fighter. But if you put it in an environment where ambush, tactical surprise, and numbers play a role, the jet still retains bite. And that's why North Korea is reluctant to give it up. Experience inside. The question then arises, what happens when inside North Korea's F-6 today? The answer is not about the machinery, it's about the experience. A pilot who sits inside this cockpit is entering a living museum, an artifact still active on the field of battle. The leather seat, the heat of the cockpit, the view of simple analog gauges, it all creates the illusion of being trapped in time. Yet for the pilot, this is a university of hard lessons and a very real tool for future conflict. The truth is, North Korea has an entire arsenal made up of such surprises. And that's why the Shenyang F-6 story cannot be dismissed. It needs to be revealed. Final message plus call to action. We are reminded that nations do not always fight with the best. They fight with what works, and the F-6 still works for more than just flying. It works as a training machine, a psychological weapon, and a strategic illusion. And now, if you found this exploration into the shadowy world of the Shenyang F-6 fascinating, don't stop here. The full story goes deeper than what I've just shared. The hidden history, the classified upgrades, and the strategic game still wait to be revealed, and that link is your next step. Backhand index pointing right, look in the description below and follow the link to the next video, where the truth unfolds even further. And before you go, don't forget to smash that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to know what you think about North Korea still flying this jet, and make sure you subscribe to ride this journey with us. In the coming videos, we will uncover the weapons, the strategies, and the secrets nations don't want you to know. Stay curious, stay alert, and stay ready, because what's coming next will blow your mind.